Hello everyone. In this video, we are going over questions 21 to 24 in ACER's Pink booklet, which is also called Practice Test 3. And then, as always, I'm using the first edition, so make sure you have the correct edition, please. And if you have any questions, comments, feedback, good or bad, need more help, need more resources, please email me or go to my website, and all the links, as always, will be in the description of this video. Okay, so let's get into it. So, as always, read the little blurb before the passage. So here we're told that it's a passage from an essay, um, basically set in London in the late 18th and early 19th century. And when you read the passage, you'll realize that there's kind of two key figures here. There's Lady Louise, and then there is a Mr. Brummel. Now, the first thing that you should pick up is the language here. So Louise is a lady and she is the daughter of a duke. And even if you know nothing about, 18th, 19th century England, you can still get that from the passage because it tells you that the Duchess was there escorting her daughter, Louisa, and then it even says a duke's daughter. So you know that Lady Louise is the daughter of a duke and a duchess. And hopefully you know enough to figure out that these are pretty high-ranking people in society. They're pretty high up on the sort of the hierarchy there. Mr. Brummel is a Mister. He is not a Sir. He's not a Duke. He's not a royal family member. His title is Mister. There isn't a special title for him. So that helps quite a lot with the first question. So question 21, lines 4 and 5 suggests that Louisa felt a little. So what are the lines? Lady Louise, sorry, I keep saying it wrong. Lady Louise might well have wondered why a Mr. Brummel was celebrated and why a duke's daughter needed to take care to impress a Mr. Brummel. So she's being told by her mother, the Duchess, if that man comes over and has a chat to you, um, you know, treat him well, make him feel welcome. You need to impress him. And she's there thinking, but why? I'm the daughter of a duke. He is a mister. Like I rank higher than him on the, hierarchy of the aristocracy. Why do I need to impress him? He's a mister. And so that's how you get the answer B, which is indignant. She doesn't feel guilty. There's nothing in here about guilt. She doesn't feel embarrassed. She's not embarrassed about having to impress him. She's more like, but why? Like, he's not on our level. And she's not apprehensive either. She's indignant. So that's why paying attention to those little words like the titles and the honorifics can be really, really important because it just helps set the scene and the context that we're dealing with. Okay, question 22, lines 7 to 10 suggest that a key element in Brummel's grace was. So if you don't know, virility just means manliness. That's not the correct answer. So if you don't know it, you can also just knock it out. Then we have restraint, athleticism, and a genuine desire to please. So lines 7 to 10 talk about the way that he's dressed. And it says things like this. Everyone looked overdressed or badly dressed in comparison to him. His clothes were perfect. There was a quiet harmony. There was no point of emphasis. Everything was distinguished. So he's very clearly well dressed, but he's not like overly dressed where he's sort of like popping out of the room and, so overly dressed that it's like clashing. It's just very put together, like a very well tailored suit. It's not, super colorful or anything like that. It's not popping anywhere. It's just well put together. And so therefore it is restrained. And that is why the answer is B. Question 23. The image of the chair, line 12, contributes to the portrayal of Brummel by introducing an element of. So this is the chair. It's not the actual chair. I just Googled what a sedan chair was. I'll be honest, when I first did this, I had no idea what that chair looked like, but it tells you, it says a sedan chair carried by porters. So here are our two porters. So honestly, for a very long time, I thought it was just like a normal like kitchen chair that two porters carried. And it was only until I Googled it for this video did I actually realize what it looked like. That's fine because you can still get the correct answer. So what we are told is that um, it says he was the personification of freshness and cleanliness and order. One could well believe that he had his chair brought into his dressing room and was deposited at the almanacs. So, what we're being told is that he has had this chair, this big chair that needs to be carried in by two porters, walked into the building, put down in the dressing room so that he can get out or use it. What is that? That's a little bit abs- um, absurd. Why? Because he's had this giant chair with porters brought into another building, brought into a living room. It's a bit absurd. So that's why the answer is A. And then here's just the definition for solemnity, if you didn't know. Informality, definitely not, because he's having a chair carried by porters, and gentle humor. I think we've already been told enough about Mr. Brummel that this would not be like a humorous kind of satirical thing. Okay, question 24. Lines 14 to 22 suggest that Lady Louisa felt Brummel's conversation. Then we have all our options. So remember, whenever you have options, split them up. So what's happening in lines 14 to 22? Um, it's describing him and then it's just talking about him. So, his odd grey eyes seemed to contradict his lips, and they had a look in them that made the sincerity of his compliments very doubtful. So it seems like he's saying one thing, but he's behaving another way. You can't quite believe him. You can't quite trust him. Then it says, and then he said very cutting things about other people. So he's a bit uh, rude, mean, let's say. Saying cutting things is a bit like saying rude or mean things about other people. They were not exactly witty. They were certainly not profound. So he's not, being funny and making jokes and like using wit or saying very profound things about other people. He's just sort of being a little bit, shall we say, like snake-like about them. So was his conversation inspiring? Definitely not. Was his conversation less than impressive? Maybe. Was his conversation alien? No. Was it intimidating? No, she's not intimidated by him. Was it novel? Yes. And is it disconcerting? Yes. So that's how you get to the answer. um, D. And then just to clarify, the reason that it's not B, less than impressive, is because she's still like impressed with him. It says here, um, and then he said very cutting things about other people. They were not exactly witty. They were certainly not profound. So that's kind of giving you the think that you're like, oh, she's not very impressed with this. They're not witty. They're not profound. But then it says, but they were so skillful. They had a twist in them which made them slip into the mind and stay there, where more important phrases were forgotten. So whilst they're not witty and profound, he's still showing skill. So that's why B is not the correct answer. So that's why it's disconcerting because she's getting a bit thrown off. She doesn't really know what to think or what to believe. His eyes are contradicting his lips, but then it's also novel as well because he's saying all these new things. And that's why the answer is D. Okay, hopefully that helped, and I'll see you in the next video.